On a chilly Saturday afternoon in New York City, hundreds of young women sat bent over sewing machines, racing to finish garments before the end of the workday. Within minutes, many of them would be dead. Some would burn, some would suffocate, some would make a choice no human being should ever have to make. They would jump. Their bodies would rain from the sky onto the streets below. The tragedy would horrify a nation. But this is not merely the story of a factory fire. It is the story of how the deaths of 146 workers transformed labor laws, workplace safety, and the relationship between governments and industry across the modern world. It is the story of how one terrible afternoon helped create protections that millions of workers now take for granted. And it began in a factory that most people had never heard of. At the start of the 20th century, New York City was the beating heart of American industry. Immigrants arrived by the hundreds of thousands. Many came from Italy. Others came from Eastern Europe. They carried little more than hope, determination, and dreams of a better future. For young immigrant women, however, opportunities were limited. Factories offered work. The hours were long. The pay was low. But for many families, even a few dollars a week meant survival. The garment industry was booming. America's growing population needed clothing, and entrepreneurs rushed to meet demand. Factories multiplied. Competition intensified. Profit margins were thin. Owners searched constantly for ways to increase productivity and reduce costs. Worker safety rarely appeared on the list of priorities. One of the most successful garment manufacturers in New York was the Triangle Waist Company. The company specialized in producing women's blouses, known at the time as shirtwaists. Fashion trends had created enormous demand. Business was thriving. The factory occupied the 8th, 9th, and 10th floors of the Ash Building in Manhattan. Every day, hundreds of workers crowded inside. Most were teenage girls and young women. Some were only 14 or 15 years old. Rows of sewing machines filled the rooms. Bundles of cotton fabric were stacked everywhere. Paper patterns littered the floors. Scraps accumulated under tables. The environment was a fire hazard waiting to happen. Yet management focused more on preventing theft than preventing disaster. Workers were often searched before leaving. One exit door was frequently locked. To the owners, protecting merchandise seemed more important than ensuring a quick escape. Years before the fire, labor activists had already been sounding alarms. Workers protested poor conditions. Strikes erupted across the garment industry. Many employees demanded shorter hours, better pay, and safer workplaces. But resistance from factory owners remained fierce. The conflict between labor and management was intensifying. Still, few people imagined how dramatically that conflict was about to change. Then came March 25, 1911. The workday was nearing its end. Outside, New Yorkers enjoyed a pleasant spring afternoon. Inside the Triangle factory, hundreds of workers continued sewing. Suddenly, on the 8th floor, flames appeared. No one knows with absolute certainty what ignited the fire. Many historians believe a discarded cigarette or match may have ignited fabric scraps. Whatever the cause, the result was devastating. Cotton burns quickly. Paper burns even faster. Within moments, flames raced through the room. Workers screamed. Machines stopped. Panic exploded. Some employees attempted to fight the fire. Others ran for exits. The fire spread with terrifying speed. Telephone operators managed to warn workers on the 10th floor. Many escaped, but workers on the 9th floor received little warning. They found themselves trapped in an inferno. The elevators became lifelines. Operators made repeated trips into the burning building, rescuing dozens. Eventually, heat warped the elevator rails. The elevators stopped functioning. The stairways filled with smoke. Then came the locked door. Workers rushed toward one exit only to discover it could not be opened. The decision intended to prevent theft now became a death sentence. Meanwhile, firefighters arrived outside. Crowds gathered. People looked upward in horror. The fire ladders reached only about the 6th floor. The flames were far above them. Firefighters could watch. They could shout. but they could do little else. Then the unimaginable happened. Workers began jumping, one after another. Young women, still wearing work clothes, plunged from the ninth floor. Some held hands. Some hesitated. Others simply stepped into empty air. Witnesses described hearing bodies strike the pavement. Newspapers later reported scenes so shocking that many spectators fainted. The entire catastrophe lasted less than 20 minutes. When the flames finally died, 146 people were dead. Most were young immigrant women. Many families spent days searching hospitals and morgues. Some victims were so badly burned that identification became difficult. Funeral processions stretched through city streets. Entire neighborhoods mourned. The nation was stunned. Americans had witnessed industrial accidents before, but this felt different. The horror was too visible, too public, too undeniable. Photographs filled newspapers. Journalists described every heartbreaking detail. The public demanded answers. How could this happen? Why were workers trapped? Who was responsible? The fire quickly became more than a tragedy. It became a symbol of the darker side of industrial progress. Factories had generated wealth. Cities had grown. Businesses had prospered. But workers often paid the hidden cost. Now the consequences were impossible to ignore. Public outrage surged. Labor activists seized the moment. Among them was a young reformer named Frances Perkins. She witnessed the fire's aftermath firsthand. The experience haunted her. Years later, she would describe it as the event that shaped her life's mission. Eventually, she became the first female cabinet member in American history and played a central role in creating many labor protections during the era of Franklin D. Roosevelt. But in 1911, that future remained unknown. What mattered was that reformers now had powerful evidence. They could point directly to the bodies, to the locked doors, to the unsafe conditions, to the human cost of neglect. Political leaders could no longer pretend the problem did not exist. Investigations began. Hearings were held. Inspectors entered factories. Witnesses testified. The findings were disturbing. Unsafe workplaces were everywhere. Many factories lacked adequate fire escapes. Emergency exits were poorly designed. Buildings were overcrowded. Fire prevention measures were often minimal or non-existent. The Triangle Fire was not an isolated accident. It was merely the most visible symptom of a much larger problem. Then came the turning point. New York established the Factory Investigating Commission. The commission conducted one of the most ambitious workplace investigations in American history. Inspectors visited factories throughout the state. They documented hazards in painstaking detail. Their reports shocked lawmakers. The evidence was overwhelming. Reform followed, not gradually, rapidly. Over the next few years, New York enacted dozens of new workplace safety laws. Fire drills became mandatory. Exit doors had to open outward. Buildings required improved fire escapes. Sprinkler systems became more common. Occupancy limits were established. Working conditions faced increased regulation. Government oversight expanded dramatically. For many business owners, these changes represented an unprecedented intrusion into private enterprise. For workers, they represented something far more important, a chance to survive. The effects did not stop in New York. Other states watched closely. Reform movements gained momentum across America. Labor unions found new support. Workplace safety became a national concern. The Triangle Fire helped accelerate a transformation in how governments viewed industrial responsibility. Before the fire, many politicians believed workplace conditions were largely private matters. After the fire, increasing numbers believed governments had a duty to protect workers. This shift would eventually influence labor laws throughout the United States. The ripple effects extended even further. The tragedy strengthened the broader labor movement. Workers became more willing to organize. Unions gained visibility. Public sympathy increased. Future reforms regarding wages, hours, child labor, and workplace protections all benefited from momentum created by the fire. In a sense, every safety inspection, emergency exit sign, fire drill, and workplace regulation carries part of the Triangle Fire's legacy. Yet statistics alone cannot capture the human reality. Behind every reform stood individual stories. Young women who left home seeking opportunity, mothers supporting families, daughters sending wages to struggling parents, dreams interrupted in a matter of minutes. One victim was 14-year-old Rosaria Maltese. Another was 16-year-old Kate Leone. Many victims were teenagers. Most never imagined that a normal workday would become their final day alive. Their names rarely appear in history textbooks, yet their deaths changed history. There's a cruel irony at the heart of this story. The factory owners, Max Blank and Isaac Harris, survived. They faced criminal charges, but were ultimately acquitted. Many people viewed the verdict as unjust. The legal outcome fueled even more public anger. Yet even without convictions, the fire had already achieved something larger. It had changed public consciousness. The disaster forced society to ask fundamental questions. What responsibilities do employers have toward workers? How much regulation is necessary? Should profits ever take precedence over human life? Those debates continue today. Whenever a workplace accident occurs, whenever governments discuss labor regulations, whenever businesses balance costs against safety measures, echoes of the Triangle Fire can still be heard. More than a century has passed since those flames consumed the factory. The world has changed dramatically. Technology has advanced. Industries have evolved. Workplaces look very different. Yet the core lesson remains timeless. Progress without protection carries a price. Economic growth without accountability creates risks. And sometimes it takes a tragedy to reveal dangers that society has chosen not to see. Most people walking through Manhattan today pass the former Ash building without realizing what happened there. The building still stands. Students now attend classes inside. Life continues. Traffic flows. People hurry past. History hides in plain sight. But beneath the ordinary appearance of that building lies one of the most important turning points in labor history. A single factory fire. Less than 20 minutes of chaos. 146 lives lost, and a chain reaction that transformed workplace safety for generations. History often seems to be shaped by presidents, wars, revolutions, and powerful leaders. But sometimes history changes because a door was locked. Sometimes an entire system is forced to confront its failures because ordinary people paid an extraordinary price. Few people remember every victim of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. Yet millions of